going on, nerds? Welcome back to JD's Nerdverse. We are playing through today with the Magnet Pokemon, which is Magnemite. Let the games begin. So, we choose Magnemite. We named him Magneto, and we're facing our rival. Bulbasaur is the Pokemon we chose because, obviously, Squirtle is weak to electric, it's water. And Charizard, or Charmander, isn't weak to electric, but eventually he becomes a flying fire type, and then he'd be weak to us. So, I thought Bulbasaur would probably be the least worst option there. So we named our rival also Charles because we're Magneto, so Charles. If you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. This Pokemon is Magnemite. If you haven't already, there's a video that goes over a lot of the stats and moveset and breakdown of what I think this playthrough will be. Actually, a very surprising playthrough. Not gonna lie, it's a much bigger surprise than I anticipated with this Pokemon. But this Pokemon is in the, let's call it the medium fast level up group, so it doesn't level up fast early, but middle and late game it actually has a pretty decent level up speed. So that's pretty much what that means. Okay, this Pokemon, we start off with not very good stats. So we start off with Tackle. That's our first move, and our stats we don't have great much of anything. We have a respectable speed of 45. We have special attack is 95. I'm sorry, special is 95. And defense is 70. Then our HP and attack is 25 and 35. So not very good. So physical attacks, which is what Tackle is, are not going to be our friend. So that's the only attack we have for a while. So we have to do some serious leveling up. So that's kind of the big trade-off we have to have now. Is we have to do some serious leveling up. Now, 24 minutes in, I got to level 14, and I thought, you know what? What the heck? Let's go face our rival and see if we can beat our rival level 14, considering we were 5 levels higher. But no, this Dirty Bird Pidgey had other ideas. So, go ahead and watch this fight, and I'll just keep talking. So, the struggles with this Pokemon are a couple struggles, really. One, we can't take a lot of damage. Okay, so if we take a lot of damage, we gotta go back and heal a lot. Okay? 2, we only have one move until level 21, so we can't use multiple moves. And with the most Pokemon, you could actually struggle and it'd be pretty effective for a while. And in like battles like this, struggle is probably actually more powerful. But because we have a weak attack, it wouldn't do much, and we have low health, so struggle won't be a long-term solution to anything. So that's kind of the downside to this Pokemon to start with. Electric types don't start the game very well in Red and Blue, because the first gym, you usually don't have electric move early, and the first gym is rock anyway. So yeah, and if you have a normal attacking move, it's just not going to do much, which is what the problem is here. So the stupid Dirty Bird Pidgey. This is why I hate Pidgey. I hate the fact that our rival chooses Pidgey every time. I wish they would just randomize it, and he'd have a random team that he might get a Spearow once in a while, or get some kind of Caterpie or something. But no, he chooses Pidgey, and Sand Attack, in my opinion, is way overpowered in Gen 1. And this battle, we've been at this almost 2 minutes. When we get to the 26-minute mark, this will be 2 minutes invested in this battle alone. And we lost one, had to go back and refight it. And we're not losing because we're bad. We're losing because of damn Sand Attack. So, it is what it is. And like I said, I can't stand Pidgey for a lot of reasons, and this just adds to it. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go train in the Vermilion Forest a little bit, and we're going to get some more experience this way. We have to get to level 21 before we can beat Brock. So, getting to level 14 before even facing trainers was a grind in and of itself. I didn't want to use all these higher possible experience points with trainers. I didn't want to use them too early and then have to spend more time grinding. So he's going to go straight through. We beat the first bug catcher, not a problem. This bug catcher is also not going to be a problem. We're over leveled. Now, here's something about Magnemite that maybe some people are like scratching their heads, like, well, this happens here in a minute. We get poisoned. In Gen 1, Magnemite and Magneton are just electric. Their steel typing was not invented until Gen 2, so we got poisoned right there. In Gen 2, that we would never get poisoned. Steel was completely resistant to poison. So, we would never get poisoned in Gen 2. But in this generation, you can get poisoned. It is definitely something you can get done. Doesn't happen that much. It doesn't happen enough that it's like a thing. But it can happen to us in Gen 1 because we're just electric type. We're not electric steel yet. That doesn't happen until Gen 2. And then from Gen 2 on, it's electric steel. So now we're facing our rival again. We came back with another level, hoping that it would be enough to get through. We just got to get 3 attacks off, and we just got to do it before we get a stupid sand attack. Very good. Okay, 1, 2, so close. I don't remember if you got a sand attack off or not. Nope. I guess you must have got 1 off. Nope. And these are fun battles, I tell you what. Imagine you just watching this right now. You're watching like 2 or 3 minutes of this with me talking over it. Imagine playing this and you just want to get this and progress through the game, but you can't because of stupid leech seed and all this other stuff that's preventing us from doing it. And we get seeded and we're not gonna knock them out. Great. And we're still gonna face this battle again. We're 30 minutes in. 30 minutes in, and we still have not beat our rival. This is insane. I think this might be the record for the longest going without beat. I don't know. That probably isn't true. There's other times where I actually faced a rival last, right before I faced our Brock. So this is hoping for an outcome where he gets 2 sand attacks off, which is just fantastic. Bulbasaur tackle. We use tackle again. We're just going to use tackle forever. And the thing is, Bulbasaur keeps using growl. Growl actually lowers our attack. So it lowers our attack. So even when we do hit, it doesn't do much. So we finally knock him out. Level 15. So we grinded and grinded and grinded. We're at 32 minutes in. I apologize. I went straight to here after beating the rival. So we're not very high level. We still need 5 more levels. So the hope here is that we fight the Million Light Years trainer and we can get another level out of him. At least 1 more level. Okay, so this is going to be the same scenario. We're going to get sand attacked. We're going to miss some attacks. He's going to attack back. We're going to keep using tackle. We're going to miss. He's going to scratch us. It's going to continue to keep doing this until we fortunately we get lucky. I should say. I don't want to say get lucky. Yeah, it is luck because we know it's a hitter. It's a coin flip every time. So now we finally progress all the way up to level 21 where we have Supersonic. Now Supersonic is a set base move, which means it does a set amount of damage every single time. So Sonic Boom does 20 damage every single time. So 2-shot and Wakanda forever. Brock's entire team. And if you don't know that, I think Brock looks like Black Panther with the X in the front of him, like Wakanda for life or Wakanda forever. So that's why I keep saying that whenever he's up. So now we're on Route 3, and Route 3 shouldn't be super hard as long as we have enough power points to get through them all. So I'm using Supersonic and getting 20 damage points, and honestly, that's a waste of time. I should use Supersonic, get down 20, and then use Tackle to save my power points. But I think I switched to that tactic here soon. So, yes, the tactic does almost half. Okay, 45% is what it's doing. So there's no point in doing Supersonic when you just do Supersonic and Tackle and save yourself the power point. There you go. So I started doing that. Okay. Now, we don't really need to be over-leveled for the next part of this game. So it's not imperative that we get extra levels right now, because we're about to get an electric move in like two levels or something. I think it's level 24, so 3 levels, and we're about to get an electric move, and that electric move is going to give us the ability to just steamroll over Misty's gym, and it's going to help us with our rival, because our rival starts off the battle with the Pidgeotto. So having electric move is going to be fantastic. We're going to be able to blast through whatever those 2 things, these 2 barriers that are in front of us, pretty easily. So we don't really need to overlevel. Here's the problem with though. If you watch my prediction video, this Pokemon has some very, very glaring limitations and very glaring weaknesses. One of its is moveset, and we have to find a way to compensate for that. And one way to do that is make sure we're leveled high enough so that when we do have an attack that does not do a lot of damage or does minimum damage or whatever the case may be, we at least can counter that somehow. So, and like I said, these battles aren't very difficult at all. Nothing here is super effective against us. There is a hiker in Mount Moon if we wanted to face him. We don't have to face him, so we're not going to. Sonic Boom, like I said, will do 20 damage, but we still are going to need multiple turns to knock him out. There's no point in wasting a power point for that. And this trainer can usually be tricky. This is pretty much the only reason I add Bide anymore, is to deal with this trainer. So this trainer can sand attack you, and Bide skips over your accuracy checks. So at level 30, I think, 30 is when we evolve. So I'll tell a little bit of stuff about Magneton. Magneton is also known as the Magnet Pokemon. We do get some nice boosts in stats. This is actually one of the few Pokemon that doesn't have a gender. I thought that was very interesting. I got the stats pulled up next to me, and I usually never read these off, but these battles are not very much. There's no point in calling these battles. So one thing that's really interesting about Magneton is Magnemite. So if you saw my prediction video, it shows like moves I can and cannot do. So one move it doesn't show in there that I can do is Hyper Beam. You can actually do Hyper Beam with Magneton. Not very useful. You'd have to spend so much time to get Hyper Beam. But I think what happened was they were making Pokemon and they got near the last 70 Pokemon. Because you look at a lot of Pokemon you wouldn't think can do Hyper Beam, and like every one of them can do Hyper Beam. It's ridiculous. So I've been looking through like future playthroughs and what moves I'm going to be dealing with. And yeah, pretty much every Pokemon, just all of them can do Hyper Beam in the final stages. So now we're in Mount Moon. And we skip over most of Mount Moon's pretty pointless. We get an HP up, which we can sell for money. We can't get Water Gun. We can't do anything. We can get a rare candy. But Mount Moon is pretty trivial. There's nothing there other than it's in our way, and we come across a lot of Pokemon to fight. Basically, we get a lot of wild encounters. We're actually pretty fast, so we can skip over a lot of those encounters. But we beat the Rocket Guy. The Rocket Guy. Hey, Rocket Guy. There's a bunch of Rocket Guys. And now we're gonna face the Super Duper Nerd. And I actually had to say before this because I was not confident we beat him. So he has, I believe it's a. Is that Magnemite or a Coughing? A Grimer, a Coughing, and an Electro. I think's what he has. So, yeah, and now we're running low on power points, so that's the other downside. That's not a bad side. I mean, there's plenty of power points for this Pokemon. Like, right now we only have 5. And we should have enough to get through these Pokemon. I don't think Coughing's HP is high enough that 220 hit point attacks can't knock him out. That should be it. Very good. And we learn Thunder Shock, which is perfect, so we can go and take on Misty. And we get the Dome Fossil. All hail the Dome Fossil. And then we move on to Misty's gym. Her gym will be a cakewalk. Her gym will be a straight-up cakewalk. Unless we don't do this right, we should be going straight for Thunder Shock every time, and it should be a one-hit for every Pokemon we face in here. One shot, there we go. One shot, there we go. I've been thinking about having a little clip I add in whenever we have, like, for big battles, not these minuscule trivial battles, but having like a Mortal Kombat like flawless victory or something like that every time we beat someone and not take any damage, or it's like a clean sweep. I've been thinking about adding a clip in. Let me know what you think down below. If I should add like a little clip in, like flawless victory, and then go back to the gameplay. And one shot on the Staryu. Starmie might be a little bit tanky, so we may not one shot it. It's okay. It's a 2-shot, and Bubble Beam doesn't do too much. So we get the win against Misty. Very easy win. Much better than the last gym. So here's a little bit of clarity on how rough this playthrough was. We're at 58 minutes. Okay, I just played through this Farfetch'd, and it took a total of 1 hour and 13 minutes. And some odd seconds. And it would have been a little bit faster, but I kept all my Pokemon in. So we're facing our rival. We knock out the Pidgeot in one shot. We knock out the Abra. We knock out the Rattata. So now we can use Thunder Shock on Bulbasaur. It's not going to do much. But the Sonic Boom knocks him out 3 hits. And he still don't evolve his Bulbasaur. It doesn't make sense. So now we're facing the Sandy, the sand attacking Pidgey trainer. And Thunder Shock should knock him out all at once. But the good news is she can't get off a sand attack. So this battle is very trivial. And then the next fight is against one of my favorite NPCs because this Pokemon really set up a very corny joke that I will say every time because I like it. We got the Spearow. Take the 0. Magneto's taking the 0. Spear to 0. Eradicate, eradicate. What's that? Eradicate, eradicate. Whoa. You get the bunch. Yeah, I'm corny and I know it. It's okay. And now we're facing our rival. See, the SSN usually gives us a lot of stuff. Like we can get Body Slam. But all it does is give us really our rival fight in a rare candy. So Thunder Shock's on one hit. Very good. Eradicate's up. Eradicate can be scary because Eradicate can use Hyper Fang, and Hyper Fang does a lot of damage. And we're not the bulkiest Pokemon. We're pretty bulky. Thunder Shock is a special attack, so Abra's going to tank it like a boss. Tackle's going to knock it out. And so now all we have left is Ivysaur, and Tackle. We're not going to do much damage to each other. That's really what's going to go on here. We're just not going to do much damage to each other. I got nothing super effective with him. And we evolve into Magnemite. And the beauty of Magnemite is when we evolve, we get some pretty nice boosts in stats. We have our speed goes up 70, so that's respectable. Special attack goes to 120. Defense goes to 95. And HP and attack go up a little bit. HP is 50. Attack is 60. Now we're facing Lieutenant Surge's gym. So Lieutenant Surge's gym is not going to be anything super scary because we are also electric. And most of the time, our rival or Lieutenant Surge's Pokemon don't have extra moves. They don't have a lot of extra things to do. They don't have extra attacks. It's mainly just electric. And actually, the first Pokemon that's scariest, I think, is Voltrope because he also has Sonic Boom. So we make it through Mount Moon after beating Lieutenant Surge, and we just go straight to take on Erica. So we pick up Swift. Swift is a good move because it's a 60 base power move. We actually can learn it via level up, but we don't learn it via level up here because you can get it as soon as you get outside of you get outside of Rock Tunnel. You can go right south of Lavender Town. And you can pick it up in there's a building that transitions you from Lavender Town really to like the I don't know what route that is. But you can walk down, basically, and go to, Fuchsia City. There we go. My words are not coming out of my mouth properly today. So you can pick up Swift. And we can actually learn to be a level up, but if we wait to learn to be a level up, we got to wait till level 46 because we evolve. And even if we didn't have it, I think it's like level 40 for Magnemite. So, yeah. We just pick up Swift, and Swift is actually a pretty decent move because it's 60 base power and it never misses. The only thing it will miss ever is... it may miss, it will miss Ghosts, because it's a normal type move. So it is, Ghosts are completely immune to it, will not do any damage at all. So, Erica's gym is not really difficult. I just went for this right away because I think we needed the experience. And I'm not healing my Pokemon of the poison. So here's my strategy here. Poison is not the end of the world to have. And I've said this before in another video, and I'll say it again. If you have a status condition like poison, you cannot be put to sleep and you cannot be paralyzed. So of the 3 case scenarios, sleep, paralyzed, and poison, I think sleep may maybe not be the worst because you can wake up eventually, but you can be attacked and you can't retaliate. So poison is not the worst thing in the world when it comes to this fight right now. Because it prevents the opposition from paralyzing me or putting me to sleep. As long as I can do enough damage to knock them out and I can heal up, it'll be perfectly fine. So, I believe that's what my strategy is here, because I have not used an antidote, and I know I have an antidote. So, I played these about a week ago, and then I edit, and then I finally do the voiceover. So that's how these work. Okay, so now I'm facing Erica. I would assume that I've healed. I assume that I've healed, but I'm still poisoned. Okay. So, Reflect, going to increase my prevention of damage. That's what Reflect does. I actually hit twice, because I'm an idiot. And now, here's the problem with Victory Bell, is he can outspeed me. He outspeeds me, and I can never get an attack off. There we go. So it does about maybe a little less than a third, so maybe about 35%. And I'm going to lose this battle, and we're just going to come back and do it later. We don't have enough, we're just not powerful enough to take on Erica right now. She outspeeds, she has a lot of advantages right now, and we're just going to take it on later. So we take on this guy, and we go right in to face Giovanni. I skip over the other fights. Most of them are trivial. They're not really tough fights. I do have some jokes about Tweedledee and Tweedledum. But mainly what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure I can show this fight. This fight is tricky. We can't use our best move. Our best move is Thunderbolt. We have zero ability to use this move in this battle up until the Kangaskhan. Okay? So we have to use Sonic Boom. I use Reflect to prevent damage. So Reflect is a move I've never used before. So what Reflect does is it boosts your defense. It basically makes it so any attack on you is like minimized. Okay, so now we beat Giovanni. Now we're facing our 5th rival fight. First knockout should be straight up. Then they have Gyarados. Should be another knockout straight up. And then you're looking at, now we learn Thunder Wave. We don't need to learn Thunder Wave. As much as Thunder Wave might be good if we were just Magnemite with everyone else in our party, it's not going to be useful at all because we need other moves. Other moves are more, damaging moves are more important than stall tactics. I think Thunder Wave is a stall tactic because one, you don't have a high likelihood of hitting it, and then 2, the other Pokemon can still attack you even if they're paralyzed. It does minimize their ability to go first in battle, but it's just not enough that I think it's worth giving up an actual damage dealing move or reflect to get. So now we're in Koga's gym. The rival was pretty easy. He's actually pretty decently easy with Magnemite, Magneton. We're getting some extra experience points in here. That's kind of the real benefit of this gym right now, because we can get some extra experience points. Thunderbolt is cleaning house. So Thunderbolt is we got that from Lieutenant Surge when we beat him. Thunderbolt is a stab move. It's standard. It is 95 base power. So if we were any other Pokemon that wasn't electric, it'd just be 95 base power, which is still a very solid move. But for us, because we're electric, it's 95 plus 94, 97.5. It's about 132 base power, 142 base power, is what it is. So it's a good move. It definitely is a move that is beneficial for us. I actually watched a playthrough where a Pokemon could do Thunderbolt, and because the Pokemon's defense was so low, or I'm sorry, not the defense. The Pokemon's defense wasn't so low. The Pokemon's special was so low that it did not benefit the Pokemon at all to use Thunderbolt over other moves, even though the opposition was Water type. So now we're going to face Koga here in a second. So we're facing Koga. And we want to start off, I think we start off with a Reflect, right? Okay, perfect. So now we're going to go for Thunderbolt. It's going to one-shot the Coughing. I don't think we one-shot the Muck. Muck is very bulky. Okay, and now we have a Coughing again. And then one last Wheezing. Is Wheezing a one-hit? It is not. However, Wheezing gets paralyzed. It does poison us, but not big deal. And we move on from Koga. And we move on and face our rival number 6. Rival number 6 is usually the hardest rival. He's evolved. He's got some good things. But the benefit is Pidgeot actually no longer has Sand Attack. So that's a very big benefit to this now. So like I said, Pokemon are evolved. They're more powerful. But as long as you can take care of the first two, and if you need to set up on the first two, you should be able to sweep his team. And this one I should have used Swift. I shouldn't use Thunderbolt there. He has very high defense. So Swift will be a decent damage dealing move. Sonic Boom will do 20 every time. So that's nothing here is super effective. But also he's not having anything super effective. 69 health points. Nice. And Razor Leaf, and he gets the win because of me being dumb. Okay. So that was a loss, and it's okay. Because I think one little tweak here and there, and we could have beat him. So now what are we going to try to do here? And TM9, no. Are we going to use Takedown? What move are we getting rid of? Sonic Boom. Is it time to get rid of Sonic Boom? It is time to get rid of Sonic Boom. So Takedown is a 90 base power, 85% accurate move. The only downside to it, it really, I'm sorry, 90 power, 85% accurate. Okay. And what it's going to do is going to give us the ability to do a higher damage, physically damaging move. The only downside is there is recoil. It's not the best recoil giving move in the game. That it resides to Double Edge. And I don't know why I didn't listen to my own thing again. I think I'm just trying to conserve hit points for Venusaur. So Thunderbolt doesn't do squat. I don't know. We just added Takedown. Use Takedown, JD. And that doesn't do much either. Honestly, it doesn't do that much either. It does a little bit more than Swift. So Takedown, we'll get the knockout very good. And we finally beat our rival. His name is Charles. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. So I thought it was very clever that our Pokemon's named Magneto, and he's named Charles. If you guessed earlier that it was Charles Xavier, that's exactly why. So now we are facing Giovanni, the second installment of the Giovanni downfall. And we come across this Pokemon which doesn't do squat to us. Or we can't do squat to this Pokemon. Doesn't really do a lot to us either. Rhyhorn actually has some of the worst luck in the game. It is a rock ground rhinoceros thing, and all it learns is normal moves. I learned that 2 days ago. All it learns is normal moves via level up. So if you had to level up the game, you could not beat the game unless you have a TM. You have to have a TM that would be successful with that Pokemon. And all we need is to get one more attack off. There we go. And we don't kill ourselves with recoil. That's good. So now we're taking on Lieutenant Surge. Now Blaine. This would have been scary, like I said, if it was Steel type. Because Steel is, Steel is very weak to fire. But we do pretty good. We set up a Reflect.
to make sure we can take some damage from Rapidash and from Arcanine. Arcanine's probably the more scary of the two. Arcanine has Fire Blast. Arcanine also uses Takedown a lot. And it doesn't do a lot of damage to us because, like I said, Reflect. Reflect is very good for helping us sustain battles. Usually it would be bad. Now, you didn't have to do this, but I decided to go ahead and do this. I went through this dojo. This Pokemon needs all the levels it can get. I think I went over this in my prediction video. The Elite Four, we don't have a lot of coverage for a lot of things. We have to use Mimic a lot. So I'm trying to get as many battles as I can, and then we can use Rare Candies to make up the rest of the levels that we need to potentially beat this game. It's not going to be hard. All these are one-shots, unless I mistime this, but I'm pretty confident all these are one-shots. So with the fact that all these are one-shots, we're in here a minute. I think we gained at least one level out of it. It's worth it, and especially because we're about to face Sabrina. Sabrina is probably the toughest trainer since, gym leader since Brock. Her special on her Pokemon is very high. Thunderbolt is a special damage dealing move, so it doesn't do a lot to our psychic Pokemon. They're kind of resistant, is the best way to put it. They have a resistance. So we're facing Sabrina, and like I said, she had a resistance to Thunderbolt, so we got to find a new tactic. Now, Takedown will do pretty decent damage to most of her Pokemon because psychic types. Actually, Thunderbolt did really good right there. Thunderbolt's actually cleaning house here. It must be just that much more power. Maybe it's because we're over leveled. So level 51, and Alakazam. I don't think it's going to one-shot Alakazam, but Double Edge almost one-shots it, and we get the knockout. Very good. So we use Double Edge to replace. We got rid of Takedown because Double Edge is just more powerful. It's 100 base power rather than 90. And it's 100% accurate rather than 85. So it's just much better as a move. So, this battle with Giovanni, we have to initiate a certain tactic. That tactic is, we have to get through Rhyhorn. That's the first thing we have to get accomplished in this fight. We have to get through Rhyhorn. And the reason why we have to get through Rhyhorn is because he doesn't have any good moves. He has Fury Attack and Stomp. That's pretty much his whole moveset. Maybe Tail Whip. Okay? We want to get to Diglett or Dugtrio because we can mimic Dig to sweep the rest of his team. Okay, so Dig, one-hit knockout, very good. Nidoqueen, it's not a one-hit, she's very bulky, but her body slam doesn't do squat to me. Knockout, very good. Nidoking, Dig, and it's not a knockout, but again, our defense is very high right now. Get the knockout, and then Rhydon. We're just not going to do a lot of damage, but he's going to spam Fissure because he sees that's his only rock move that can hurt me, but he never hits because he'll never hit that move if he doesn't outspeed me. So now we move on to face rival number 7. Rival number 7 is about as difficult as rival number 6. We're going to set up Reflect to make sure our defense is up high. We're going to mimic Agility. Now, I haven't used this tactic very much in this playthrough because we can't naturally learn a badge boosting move. We can in other generations. I think in like future generations you get Charge or something like that, which boosts your stats and boosts your attack. So now we got to use Double Edge to get through Rhyhorn, and this is a consistent point of contention with this Pokemon. It's not a great Pokemon. If it was like one of the later Pokemons, it'd be fine, but it's the fact it's the second Pokemon. So Thunderbolt's a one-hit on the Gyarados. And then we have 75 hit points. Is that enough hit points to get through the rest? We're going to find out. We are badge boosted right now. Double Edge is a knockout. Very good. No, it's not a knockout. And we get knocked out by Alakazam. That's awesome. So, yeah. So now our tactic was sound. The only trade-off we have right now is the simple fact that we don't have anything really good against Rhyhorn. And unless we're going to remove Double Edge to add another move, we don't really have another option unless we're going to mimic something else from Pidgeot. So Agility, we're going to use Agility again, get our stats boosted, and stats boosted as far as we can get it. Agility does nothing. Okay, so Thunderbolt will be a one-shot, very good. So now, Double Edge, very good. I wish you allowed to have 5 moves because having Rest to use Rest right after you beat Rhyhorn would be fantastic. but we don't have rest, so it is what it is. We do have a little bit more health this time. We're at 89 health going into the Gyarados. We did double edge on accident, but he just leered us, so that's pretty good. Leer actually boosts our attack stat. So knockout, then we have Alakazam. Thunderbolt is not a one-shot. Again, we get knocked out by Alakazam. So I'm pretty sure this is where I'm just like, you know what, screw it. We're just gonna give all the rare candies. We gotta give them anyway, and we're gonna just beat this rival the old-fashioned way with pure, unadulterated over-leveling. Alright, so, yep, we're at level 61. We gave 7. We save a couple for the Elite Four. So, Mimic. We're going to Mimic Agility again. Or no, we're going to Mimic Wing Attack. Okay, so that's the tactic I went with here. Thunderbolt, 1 hit, very good. Rhyhorn, we need something that does a little bit more damage. It does nothing. It does nothing. So we wasted the fact that we could have badge boosted and did nothing. That's awesome. The double edge, it's doing better. We have a lot more health now. So we end up with we had 86 last time we did this battle, so that's good. Thunderbolt's a one-shot. And because it didn't badge boost, I think we'll still knock out the Growlithe. That's not an issue. But are we going to knock out the Alakazam? We were pretty close last time, but again, we were badge boosted before. So he initiates a potion, which, little fun fact here, I'm going to pause this for a second. Little fun fact is this rival fight, it's the same exact place you fought a rival earlier in the game. So the second rival fight in the game we faced here. So you face the rival in the same spot twice. Once, you know, before your first gym, and once after all the gyms. He has the same items. So in that battle that he never uses this, I've never seen him use this in the battle. The second rival fight in the game, he has potions. And the reason why he just used a potion there and not like a super potion or a full heal or a full restore or something is because he has the same exact items he had from earlier in the game. And they did not correct that from later. That's a fun fact. But anyway, so now we're facing Venusaur. And there we go. Facing Venusaur. Double Edge is a knockout. Very good. Venusaur was never going to be the issue in this playthrough, to be honest. It was always going to be Rhyhorn. So now we're facing the Elite Four. Now Lorelei should not be super difficult. Okay, she shouldn't be super difficult at all. We should be able to steamroll through Lorelei. She can get one attack off, and we're just going to blast through her entire team. Most of her Pokemon are Ice, Water. So yeah, and this one's Water Psychic. Jinx is the only one that's kind of scary because she's Ice Psychic. And then Lapras is a one-shot as well. So we steamroll through Lorelei. So at level 64, very good. Now we're facing Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno very much. But Bruno's team has 2 Rock-type Pokemon. So I'm going to up my defense real quick. And I'm going to double edge. Very good. And it's not going to do a lot of damage. This is not. It's just a battle of attrition here. What I really want to do is I want to get to the next fight. Our next Pokemon. And I want to use... I want to mimic... I think it's Ice Punch. I think that's what we're going to mimic. If the tactic I want to do is the one I think would be the best. Ice Punch. Very good. The Thunder Punch did nothing. You didn't do nothing to me, dude. Thunderbolt did nothing. Oh, we missed. Okay, Thunderbolt. Knockout. Very good. Hitmonlee. Thunderbolt should be a knockout as well. Ice Punch should knock out the Onix, or at least bring him to very low health. Very good. So now all we have is the Machamp. And we don't knock it out one hit. We does Submission, which does nothing. His recoil knocks him out. Very good. We beat Bruno and move on to Agatha. Now, Agatha can be scary. Agatha is what J. Rose 11's calls the Agatha Lottery. She can poison you, knock you out, put you to sleep. She can poison you, put you to sleep, confuse you, paralyze you. All those status conditions. So it's just awesome. So Thunderbolt is not knocking out in one hit, but it's a 2-hit knockout with pretty much everyone up to this point. It's a 1-hit on Arbok. Very good. Now the last Gengar. Okay, so it's more than half. As long as we get this attack off, we are good. Very good. Agatha usually can be a headache. She was not there. So now we're facing Lance. Lance, the Gyarados will not be an issue with Lance. Okay? We're going to Reflect. We're going to Mimic, which I don't think we should Mimic this. Very good. Okay. The Mimic should come next Pokemon. Dragonair should be the one we Mimic. You Mimic Agility. Don't Mimic Hyper Beam. Maybe it's not a bad idea to Mimic Hyper Beam. because as much as we're going to agility, a lot of these Pokemon do not get damage done by electric type moves. 69, nice. And so now we can use Thunderbolt, and it's not even one hit, and Dragon Rage is going to potentially knock us out. And we can't use another move right now. So luckily they went for agility, and so Thunderbolt on the Aerodactyl. Now are we going to knock out the Dragonite? Slam. Oh, it doesn't knock us out, so Reflect really came in clutch right there. I was really worried about that battle. So I want you to look at the time. Our time is not horrible. This is a very good time for what I anticipated being an over 2-hour run. So here's the final battle. Let's see how this goes. So we get Pidgeot. The first thing we want to do is set up a Reflect. Pidgeot can't do much damage to us anyway. She's actually going for Sky Attack, so we want to knock him out before Sky Attack gets initiated. Very good. One hit knockout. Moving on to Alakazam. And we level up, which not a big deal. We're going to Mimic Psychic. We're going to Mimic Psychic. Don't do Recover. Don't do Recover. Very good. Because Psychic is going to help us with the problem Pokemon we've been having. And that is Rhydon. The rock-type Pokemon that he has. So now we can use Psychic. And it's not a one hit, but it's way better than taking 3 hits or 10 hits to knock him out with Double Edge. Gyarados, Thunderbolt should be a one-shot. It's a flying water type. Very good. Arcanine. Thunderbolt again. See if that does it. Very good. Now we're on Venusaur, the last Pokemon. Psychic. It's not a one-hit. Razor Leaf does not knock us out. Very good. Now we just get one more attack off, and we win. And I'm spamming A. I'm spamming A like you wouldn't even believe. I'm spamming A because I predicted this Pokemon to be an over 2-hour run at about 2 hours and 10, 2 hours and 15 minutes. And we are potentially, well, we're going to get this run in under 2 hours. I was so excited for this. As difficult as this Pokemon was, as limited as this moveset was, we got this Pokemon accomplished. And it says on there 18 hours of playtime. I pause the game and go do other stuff, and I don't close out of the game. I'm very bad about that. That's why I never go off playtime. But I will go off the actual playtime, the game time that I have. 1 hour and 59 minutes and 12 seconds. That is fantastic. As much berries as we had. We started the game. We took 45 minutes to get to the first gym. So that means the rest of the game we got accomplished in about a little over an hour and 10 minutes. A little over an hour and 15 minutes roughly. So not too bad. It definitely had worse. I've definitely dealt with worse Pokemon. Oddish, for example, was like that. Zubat was definitely worse, but this was not as bad as I anticipated it being. So very happy about that. I don't want to say proud of that, but I'm very happy about that. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. My next couple Pokemon are actually very exciting for me to do. I got Farfetch coming up, which shocking to me how it played out. And yeah, so very excited about those about the videos coming up. I got Dudo, and once I do Dudo and Dugtrio, I pretty much have all the bird types. So I don't know if I mentioned this before, but what I plan on doing with all my videos is eventually when I get all the typings done, I'm going to have a ranking of who's the best of every type. So for example, once Dudo's done and I post Dudo video in 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, I will probably have a video come out that'll explain who I think the best flying type in Gen 1, or normal flying type, not counting legendary birds in Gen 1. So I'm probably going to have a video. It's going to explain who I think the best electric type Pokemon will be in Gen 1. So we've only played through as 2 right now. We've played through as Pikachu, Raichu, and then Magnemite, Magneton. We have Electrode to play through as, and Electabuzz. So that's the next groups we have to do. But again, if you ever want to know the order the Pokemon that's coming out next, all you gotta do is check the internet and look at Pokemon 1 through 151, and go to the one that you're watching now, and look at the next one. So the next one is Farfetch'd, followed by Dudo, whatever you want to call it. And then we have, I think it's Seal after that. So not excited about the Seal playthrough, to be honest with you. It's not exactly a Pokemon I'm super psyched about. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like it. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below what you think. And feedback is always welcome, so don't be afraid to say something about the video or comment about something. And have a good one, and see you.